going to have a left-hand side or right-hand side. The left-hand side is for some of the defense attorneys as well as members of Combs' family, other public interests. And on the other side, it's going to be some extra attorneys from the government side as well as all of the reporters. And we were really kind of body to body inside that courtroom. Then when you kind of go outside of the gallery, then you have the defense table, then you have the prosecution's table, and then you have the judge obviously on the bench. So it's a little different from how when we normally cover trials, you know, you have the defense on one side, you have the prosecution on another side. So a lot of us in the reporter side, we were kind of anxious to see if Diddy's kids were going to be at the hearing today. And they did. They arrived. They were in unison. They all came in holding hands together too. And Sean Combs' mother, Janice, was also in that courtroom too. But another person who I found particularly interesting to be inside that courtroom was LaWanda Lane. Now, she is the best friend of Kim Porter. And as we have been reporting on, she has been taking care of Sean Combs' twin daughters, Delilah and Jessie, while Combs has been locked up inside that federal detention center. But whenever they came in, it was kind of different from when all of the family had to come in during that October hearing and that it went silent. That wasn't necessarily the case. A lot of people were kind of whispering and talking a little bit back and forth and inside the gallery. Then they all came in. Again, they were all holding hands. They all sat down beside each other. And then, of course, court proceeded and everything like that. I was expecting some moments of like maybe some tearing up because remember, and I'm sure you've already told our viewers this, when they were kind of discussing the freak-offs, the assault video that was released by CNN earlier this year, as well as just some of Diddy's conduct or alleged conduct, I should say. You know, I can imagine just being 17 years old. I'm specifically talking about Jessie and Delilah Combs because they are still underage here, that it can be hard to listen to your father's alleged conduct and just hearing just kind of the inner details of what all is going on. Obviously, it's been making the news everywhere. It's not really a secret, but at the same time, to be inside a courtroom for 2 hours and kind of listening to your father's conduct, I can imagine to be hard. But from my side and from what I saw, I didn't see much of an emotional reaction or anything like that as far as it coming from Diddy's children. And so they pretty much kind of stayed forward, kind of kept their eyes on what the judge was saying, what the defense was saying, obviously what the government was saying when they were making their argument. So I didn't see any type of actual emotion whenever they were making their arguments. But again, I can only imagine what may have been going on in their head as well too. But it's also significant that they were in the courtroom because, as I mentioned on Tuesday, they weren't here on Tuesday, and it was probably likely because it was an emergency hearing. I'm sure flying all the way out from Los Angeles or possibly Miami can be a lot to do in the matter of just getting 24 or 12-hour notice. And so, you know, it wasn't very surprising that they were all inside the courtroom. But again, it's significant too because the government alleges that they are all doing this as kind of like a PR stunt and kind of in a way to sway the jury into making them seem like a unified family. I mean, we've seen this before in trials, and I want to kind of make a clear distinction on the comparison I'm about to make here. I mean, we've seen this before in trials, and I'm talking specifically about the Alec Murdaugh trial where, you know, Alec Murdaugh's family came inside that courtroom as well too. So it wasn't very surprising that he had his family there to kind of back him up. But I will say, just like on Tuesday, whenever Diddy did come into the courtroom and how he beamed and how he looked at every single person in the gallery, it wasn't like that this time. So when he came inside, it was still in that khaki jumpsuit. He, again, looks kind of grayish, a little bit like that, a little thin. But at the same time, you know, being in jail or a federal detention center for the past 2 months, obviously that's going to kind of wear and tear on anybody, including somebody like Sean Diddy Combs. But as soon as he came inside that courtroom today, he beamed up immediately, looking straight at his family. And that was pretty much the only people he kept eye contact with outside of his attorneys. So he looked immediately at his family. He blew kisses to them all, kind of like a little like I love you mouthing of the words type of thing. And even before the judge got on the bench, he turned to them once again too to kind of just mouth a little like, you know, like it felt like he was just happy to see them, I should say. And then of course when he sat before he sat at the defense table, he hugged every single one of his attorneys. But again, like I said Tuesday, you know, Diddy knows that a lot of eyes are on him at this time. So there's not going to be a moment where we don't see what we expect to see of Sean Diddy Combs, if that makes sense. We're going to see somebody who's not going to appear defeated. We're going to see somebody who is going to appear with smiles. So that way, I think he's also kind of signaling to the world that he's okay in a way, but at the same time, maybe reassuring his family, especially his daughters, who, again, the twins, Jessie and Delilah, are just 17. Chance just turned 18, but with the exception of his youngest daughter.
All right, you guys. I didn't get to formally welcome you to the channel. Just wanted to catch this reporter. She was inside of the courtroom, and as you saw at the bottom of the screen, so Diddy judge is going to wait to make the decision on his bail next week. I believe some other channels were reporting that he said he's going to make the decision on Monday. So I'm not for certain, I wasn't there, but it's definitely going to be next week, I believe, on Monday. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video, leave your comments down below, share the video, click the subscribe button, click that bell notification for all so that you never miss an upload. I barely got this in. I didn't think I was going to get it in. I've been so busy today. And let me stop talking because I'm still busy and got stuff to do. But as we say before we leave, love, peace, and hair grease. Smooches. Bye-bye. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.